One of the great compliments we get on this program is when you write in and say that you have learned something. It means a lot to us. But tonight I get to say thank you for learning things from you, and to say thank you for that. Share my gratitude for all your support of my new book, Born Lucky. I've received some incredible messages about you and your family. Steve writes to War Notes, I'm a big fan of you. I just read your notes about autism. Honestly, watching for 6 months or so, I had no idea. What I'm trying to communicate is that you have truly moved beyond your disability, or whatever one calls autism. Great for you and for us. I will soon get the book and read it. And Steve, thank you. Nobody moves beyond it. I will always have autism. But this story is Dad molding me the best he could for the world, rather than adapting the world for me. He thought the world wouldn't change. He was right. That's exactly what my dad tried to do, is push me to break out of whatever box my diagnosis would put me in, to defy the diagnosis. And that lesson doesn't just apply to autism, but ADHD, anxiety, physical disabilities, the problems of growing up. It's a North Star of hope, proof really of what parents' love and dedication can do. We learn that from you. Mira writes on Instagram, as a mom of a young adult with Down syndrome, thank you. Us parents always feel like we aren't doing enough ever. I can't wait to read it. And Mira, like so many parents, you're making a huge difference. Love and dedication brings out the best in kids. I'm living proof. Billy Bob writes on TikTok, this is such a great message as we live in a time where everyone wants to hide behind their diagnosis. I've dealt with ADHD and what I know to be dyslexia. I look forward to reading the book. Billy Bob, this book isn't a prescription or an answer. It's just my story. And I think the more we stop living under labels, the more we all tap in to greatness. Speaking of greatness, a man who writes a lot about it is Don Yaeger, 12-time New York Times best-selling author. My co-writer for Born Lucky is with us now. That really is the core of the message, right? That it doesn't matter what the diagnosis is, that there's a way to break out of the label.
Yeah, I think the story, the living proof of it is you sitting here tonight. But beyond that, it's this idea that too many people are telling us what you can't do as a result of something, as opposed to what you can. And I think that's the beauty of the story you told. I hope it's the lesson people take from it. It is even internally within the publishing house at HarperCollins, the word back was that it was an incredibly moving story and an unbelievable opportunity to learn, even for those who understood something about autism.
And something about autism I think is so important, because over the past 30 or 40 years, right? 1970, it was 1 in 10,000 kids, and the diagnosis and what it means to be autistic has changed. 1995, 1 in 1,000. 2021 in 36. And you have a personal connection to this story. But it's this thing that autism diagnoses have increased 317% since 2000, and yet we know so little about it. We don't know what causes it. We don't know what causes various severities or manifestations of it. And there's this huge mystery about something that affects so many.
It affects so many, and then, but remember, it's a spectrum, because as you pointed out, there are those who are on very different ends of the spectrum who might have the same affliction, if you were, but at the end of the day, they are in very different places. As you pointed out, I'm the father of a son who is on the spectrum, and one of his favorite nights of our travel together was when he got to have dinner with you and your father in Orlando, and see in you something he believes will be his one day. And I think it's pretty exciting.
Well, and what my dad saw in you is so much of the same love and dedication that he showed to me, and still does show. I think he's probably watching as well too. I know Will is. Fine young man with an incredibly bright future ahead of him. But this issue of finding answers, right, is that I think the autism community now, and these other communities as well, ADHD, anxiety, physical disabilities, are finally realizing, and parents are realizing, that they have a voice and that they have a reason to hope.
Yeah, and I think that's the beauty of stories like this and so many others. I mean, I think one of the real key challenges for many parents is that you feel like you're alone, right? As some of your own readers noted there, like, oh my gosh, it's me against the world. The truth is, we're not. There's quite a community, and we can be supportive of each other. We can be encouraging of each other, and I think that's the beauty of your father and of this story.
Yeah, and there's so many reasons for hope. Have you seen now a difference over the past 15 years of how this is being dealt with?
No question. I think, when we got word that Will was on the spectrum, I was crushed because I thought, oh my gosh, like this, what is this going to mean? Um, you know, Amazing people came, wrapped their arms around us, were helpful to our family. We're so proud, as your father is, of all that he's accomplished as a result. And I think that's the thing that we can continue to hold on to.
Don, it's been an incredible journey together. One of the great parts about this has been getting to know you.
Any chance we could talk about tariffs before I leave?
Yeah, tell me, give me some deep thoughts on that, because we haven't done it enough this show. Unfortunately, we're out of time. But we can talk about the book, bornluckybook.com. To pre-order, and Don and I will be around for a while about this. If you pre-order and you're a subscriber of War Notes, we're going to have a special Q&A with Don and I for you when the book comes out. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
One
brother.
thing you're going to... Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.